you so much for being here. It's so nice to talk with your class. I am an astronomer from the United States, and I work for NASA. And NASA is the space agency in the U.S. And I used to live in Bombay. I lived in Bombay for 3 years, and so I spent a lot of time in India. And what I do is I work with astronomers around the world and at NASA to study the solar system. And NASA stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, and it's the U.S. government space agency. And it does science to explore the solar system, to explore galaxies, to explore the sun, to explore the moon, and things like this. And so NASA works very closely with ISRO. I'm very happy that ISRO does so much space exploration. ISRO is one of the best space agencies in the world, and it's so exciting to see all of the work that ISRO does. NASA and ISRO work together on lots of projects. NASA and ISRO just worked together on a project called NISAR. And NISAR is a project to study not the solar system, not the other planets, but to study the Earth and study the oceans on the Earth. So a lot of the projects that I study, I work with projects like the Hubble Space Telescope. The Hubble Space Telescope is orbiting the Earth, and it looks at the stars, it looks at the planets. Then I work with the James Webb Space Telescope. The James Webb Space Telescope is a really big space telescope, which is orbiting the Earth. And the reason why we have a telescope above the Earth is that it's above the clouds, it's above the atmosphere, and so it can see very sharply everything out.
Good morning, sir. My name is Amar Manikanta.
Hello.
I'm very glad to meet you, sir. Understanding the experiences of scientists who work on groundbreaking science space missions gives students a rare glimpse into how major discoveries are made. When specials share their key moments from historic projects, it helps young learners to space exploration is not just about technology. It is also about the human curiosity, teamwork, and the excitement uncovering the unknown. Such reflections can motivate the students to dream big and consider science as their futures. With your kind permission, I would like to ask a question, sir. You were the part of the New Horizon missions. What was the most memorable moment during that project?
Oh, yes, so exciting. So the New Horizons mission was the first mission which went out to explore Pluto. And I think the most exciting part of that was when we were exploring Pluto for the first time, when the first images of Pluto came down. And it took 9 years to build it took 5 years to build the spacecraft. And then it took 9 years to fly the spacecraft from Earth to Jupiter and then all the way out to Pluto. And then we had just 1 day to take all of the pictures of Pluto. And then it took about a year to send all of the images back down and to explore a new world and see new mountains, new craters, new hills is so exciting. Just seeing a brand new world for the first time.
Thanks for your wonderful response.
Good morning, sir. I am Radha Pravalika, a 10th grader. It is a great honor to interact with you, sir. The possibility of life beyond Earth has always captured the human imagination, and Mars has become the central focus of this quest. Recent studies and findings have sparked discussions about the potential signs of microbial life on the red planet. Understanding how scientists approach such extraordinary findings can teach students about the importance of evidence, careful experimentation, and peer review in science. Learning how NASA approaches such extraordinary claims can teach also shows the rigorous methods to distinguish between exciting possibilities and scientifically verified discoveries. With your kind permission, I would like to ask a question, sir. There are recent claims and discussions about the potential signs of microbial life on the Mars. What is NASA's scientific view on these findings, and how do we verify such discoveries?
So science, it's a great question. Science is built on scientists who study the rocks and publish papers about them. And then other people can, sometimes they agree and sometimes they disagree. With Mars, there's a lot of interest in these microbial results from the Mars rover, from the Mars Perseverance rover. And a lot of scientists think that they don't know exactly what it is yet, but they know that it's interesting. And this is the possibility that the rocks on Mars are showing biosignatures from life that have been produced by life, previously on Mars. So what we want to do is we want to have more scientists look at the data. All of the data from the Mars rovers is available, and so all of you can look at the data from the Mars rovers. And after you go to university, you can become an astronomer and become a scientist and study these data and actually make this discovery yourself. And you can determine whether you think that there's life previously on Mars or not.
Good morning, sir. My name is Iya Blush. I am a 10th grader. Mars has long captured the attention of scientists and public alike because of its similarities of Earth and tantalizing possibilities that it may have once harbored life. Its surface features, atmosphere, and history of water makes it a natural target for exploring. Studying Mars helps us understand planetary evolution, climate change, and conditions needed for life. However, exploring the Mars with significant challenges from harsh environmental conditions and from technical difficulties sending spacecrafts and humans millions of kilometers away. Learning about these challenges gives students a realistic sense of effort behind every mission. I would like you to ask you a question, sir. What makes Mars a most studied planet after Earth, and what are the most biggest challenges exploring it further?
So Mars is the most studied for two reasons. One, it's pretty close to Earth. And it's closer than Jupiter, it's closer than Saturn, it's closer than Titan. And so it's very easy to get to Mars compared with the other planets. The other reason that Mars is studied is that we know that there used to be water on the surface of Mars. There's not very much water right there now, but there used to be in the past. We don't think that there's life on Mars right now. Mars is pretty dry and pretty dead. And so if we want to look for where life is now, we want to go to other places. Then there's two places that we want to go to in particular, or two, maybe three places. One is Titan, which is the moon of Saturn. One is, and there's a lot of ethane and methane on Titan that might support life. Number two is Europa, which is the moon of Jupiter. And then number three is Enceladus, which is the moon of Saturn. And Enceladus and Europa both have liquid water oceans right now, and so they might have life right now that we can go up and find.
Thank you for your wonderful response, sir.
My name is Sri Lakshmi, a 10th grader from this school. I am so glad to interact with you. Space exploration is advancing at an unprecedented pace, and the next few decades promise transformative changes in how we study and interact with cosmos. New technologies from more powerful telescopes and spacecrafts and advanced spacecraft to artificial intelligence and sustainable life supporting system is expected to expand our reach across the solar system. Understanding these innovations helps students to appreciate the link between scientific imagination, engineering, and practical problem solving. Learning about future possibilities also inspire our young minds to contribute to the next era of discovery. I would like to ask you a question, sir. What technological advancements do you think will shape the future of space exploration in the next 20-30 years?
I think that some of the technological advancements which are most important is smaller spacecraft. We used to have spacecraft which were giant spacecraft, and now we can build things which are smaller and smaller and smaller. Just like we used to have computers which were big, and now we have computers which do everything in a small container like a phone. And so India can really can help a lot with this. I know that a lot of the phones now are made in India, and there's so much good technology which is made in India. Something else which helps a lot is software. Better software helps us analyze the data better and helps us run the spacecraft better. And so with better software and with better AI, then we can do more with the spacecraft that we have. The third thing that's really important is international collaboration. And I think the more that countries work together, the more they can do projects together and do things that no country could do alone.
Thank you, sir, for
Good morning, sir. Myself, Akbar. I'm a ninth grader. Students are often amazed by how scientists uncover details about the worlds that are millions or even billions of kilometers away. Modern astronomy combines physics, chemistry, and advanced technology to study the planets and moons without physically traveling them. By observing the light they reflect or emit, by analyzing data from powerful telescopes and spacecrafts, astronomers are able to reveal the hidden secrets about their atmospheres, surfaces, and internal structures. Understanding this process helps students appreciate how science expands our knowledge even from great distances. In this connection, I have one question for you, sir. May I ask, how do astronomers determine the composition of distant planets and moons without actually visiting them?
That's a great question. There's two ways I think that we determine the composition of things. One is by looking at what the temperature of the planet is, and that tells us a lot. If it's far from the sun, it's probably going to be very cold and made of ice. If it looks white and it's far from the sun, it's going to be made of ice. If it's close to the sun, we know it's not made of ice. We can tell if it's made of gas because we can look at it. We can see if it's made of gas because we can see clouds and we can see it moving. If it's liquid, we can see the liquids on it. If it's made of rock, we can see that it's rock by taking pictures of it. And then the second thing is we can use a technique called spectroscopy. And spectroscopy is where we look at the precise color of a planet or its atmosphere or its ocean or its surface. And every chemical, or every mineral or every gas or every ice has its own spectrum. It has its own combination of colors, just like a face, or just like kind of like a password. Each person has their own password or their own fingerprint. And with that, we can see by using the spectrum, we can determine the composition of things.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. My name is Harshita from VZPHS Penmaka. Inspiring the next generation of scientists is one of the most rewarding aspects of space exploration. Students who dream of becoming astronomers or working in space science can benefit from understanding the dedication, curiosity, and persistence required to pursue such careers. Learning about the educational parts, hands-on experiences, and mindset needed from scientific discovery can motivate young learners to set their goals. Hearing advice from the experienced professionals helps. Now I would like to ask a question, sir.
Please.
What advice would you give to school students who dream of becoming astronomers or working in space science?
That's a great question. So the most important thing is stay in the school as long as you can. Finish up uh, uh, your education in school, go to university, do well in your classes, and then most astronomers and most scientists, after doing university, go on to do postgraduate studies. And at postgraduate studies, you can go and you can get an MSc or you can get a PhD, and you can do that in India or you can do that abroad. If you go abroad, there's many universities in the US or in Europe or in Australia or in the UK, many different countries where you can go and you can work with other scientists and you can learn to be a scientist while getting your MSc or PhD. There's many opportunities to do this. They're very competitive programs, but for people who are at the top of their class and who work hard and who are persistent, then there's so many opportunities to become a scientist and contribute to making the world a better place and exploring the world around us.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. My name is Maheshwar. I am an 8th grader. Exploring the universe has always fascinated young minds, and understanding an astronomer personal journey can deeply inspire the students when we listen to the experience who dedicated their lives to studying planets, stars, and galaxies. We gain a clearer picture to how passion become a career. Learning about their motivations, struggles, and achievements help students see that even the most extraordinary career begin with simple curiosity and determination. I would like to ask a question. My question is, who inspired you to become an astronomer, and how did your journey lead with your work with NASA?
Yeah, oh, that's a great question. So I was inspired by so I grew up in the United States, and a lot of my neighbors were scientists or professors or researchers, and they were always curious. They were always asking questions, and there was no one person, but it was everybody, and they were curious. They wanted to explore the world. They wanted to teach other people about the world. They wanted to observe. They wanted to build things. They wanted to make things. And I grew up in this environment where all these people around me were creative and curious and working hard and wanted to explore the world. And that was the most inspiring thing.
Thank you, sir. I'm Lelta, 10th grader from Penmaka Institute. In recent years, space exploration has advanced rapidly, giving scientists remarkable insights in our own solar system. New machines, improved telescopes, and refined scientific instruments have revealed surprising details about the planets, moons, and other celestial bodies. These discoveries not only deepen our understanding of how solar system formed, but also raise new questions about the potential for life beyond Earth. Hearing what exists, astronomers help students connect with real scientific curiosity and inspires how to keep exploring. In this connection, I would ask a question, sir. What recent discoveries in our solar system excited you the most and why?
What recent discoveries in our solar system? So I think the most exciting thing in our solar system is one we haven't discovered yet. But I think that we will in the next decade or 2 decades. And that's we're looking for life. And it's the biggest search that we've ever done at NASA. We're looking for life in the solar system and looking for life in the universe. And there's these good places to look for life. You know, we can look at Mars for the history of life, and then we can look at Enceladus, the moon of Saturn. We can look at Titan, the other moon of Saturn. We can look at Europa, the moon of Jupiter. And all of these places they have water, they're warm, they've been there for a long time, they're protected. And I think just like we had life that started on Earth 5 billion years ago, I think that perhaps we might be on the edge of finding life in one of these places in the solar system. So I hope that you can continue being curious, asking great questions, go to university, and help ISRO and NASA and the rest of the world look for life in the universe and find it.
Yes, sir. My name is Jesse. I'm a third grader. Space exploration is increasing a global effort with the country collaborating their unique expertise and resources to unlock the mysteries of the universe. India, through its space agency ISRO, has achieved remarkable milestones and satellites, technology, planetary missions, and cost-effective space explorations. Collaboration between nations, such as the partnership between ISRO and NASA, allow to scientists to share knowledge, technology, and data, leading more ambitious and successful missions. Understanding the value of such an international teamwork helps to students see that scientific progress often transcends borders and benefits are all human. May I ask one question, sir?
Yes.
What role does India play in global space research, and how do you view international collaboration like ISRO and NASA partnerships, sir?
I think it's so important that countries work together. It's one thing that different countries have different skills and different interests, and can bring different things to a research project. For instance, with the NISAR mission, NISAR is this mission which is launched by NASA and ISRO together, and NASA contributed some expertise, and ISRO contributed some expertise, and it works this way with so many other different projects that one country will help with one part, and another country will help with another part. Science is really something to be done together and something to be done collaboratively, and it's so important, the work that NASA and ISRO and other space agencies have done together around the world. And I really hope that that will continue and continue to make every country stronger and stronger.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Henry, before we wind up the session, I request you to share a little information. These kids are so curious to visit NASA in USA. Is there any program that can make these kids to travel all across from India to USA to witness the NASA programs, and especially in person?
I wish that everybody can come visit NASA. NASA cannot buy plane tickets for everybody, but there's 2 ways that you can see what NASA is doing. One is, of course, if you come to Florida, you can watch a NASA launch. There are many launches that happen from Cape Kennedy, which is in Florida, which is where the NASA's main launches happen from. And I've seen a couple of launches, for instance, one launch where we put the New Horizons spacecraft on its way, on its journey to Pluto in 2006, I watched. The other way is that you can watch all of these launches, and you can watch all of the science that NASA does and all of the projects that NASA is involved with on it's a online service called NASA TV, and you can find NASA TV, and it has articles and it has shows in English about all of the projects that NASA is involved with. And so there's many interviews. I've done a lot of interviews on NASA TV, many other scientists, and that's such a good opportunity to learn more and more about all of the projects that NASA is working on.
Okay,
So
thank
I
you.
hope to see some of you there, and I hope that some of you can come to the US and
Yes.
and be involved with NASA and all the projects that we're doing too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Once again, I am so thankful to you because it's almost 2 o'clock, I think 2 a.m. in San Diego. And so I'm really sorry for making you staying up until this time. I think it's almost late for you to go to bed. So before we wind up this session, may I request you to give a message to my students, a final message, please.
Oh, keep looking up, keep being curious. All of your questions are wonderful. And it's so inspiring to hear all of these questions. And I know that all of you will be the next scientists in the world. So keep studying, keep being curious, work hard, be the best at what you're doing. find something that you love doing. That's the most important part. If you find something that you love doing, then it doesn't feel like it's a job when you're doing it. And so for some of you, that might be astronomy. For other people, that might be math, or it might be IT, or it might be biology, or it might be writing, or it might be photography. It might be music. It might be teaching. It might be writing poetry. Whatever it is, find the thing that you love doing the most, because that's what you're going to be the best at, and that's what you should do for your life. Thank you.